The real relevant question every American voter has to ask, and I tell this to the crowds that I get, when you're in the voting booth in November, ask yourself, how much does Palestinian blood matter to you? How much does Muslim blood matter to you? That is the only question that's relevant on November, whatever it is, the first week in November when you vote.
And the argument that it's haram to vote, I mean, do you still get that discussion in America?
We do, especially when it comes to within the masjids, right? Like, so you've got Muslim organization that's outside of the masjid, sort of the non-profit sphere and the advocacy sort of, circles and things like that. Then you've got the mosque sort of circles. And it is still a very, very prevalent sort of attitude. Now, voting is a tool, right? And a tool can be used for various purposes and with various intentions. Voting in and of itself is not a bay'ah. It's not a declaration of your loyalty.
Yes.
It's not a declaration of your aqidah. It's not a declaration of which system of law you think is superior. It's not. Voting is simply a tool. It's a political technology, right? Political technologies, there's tons of them. And they can be used to various ends, in various ways, towards various objectives, right? So it's the particularity of the situations. And I'm not one of those people, and unfortunately we suffer from both extremes. I'm not one of those people who's going to go up on the minbar and bash people across the head and say voting is wajib, voting is wajib. I don't believe it is. I think, but I am trying to, things fall apart, the center cannot hold. I'm trying to hold the center together here, as that you can have an opinion. Maybe personally, you think that on a case-by-case scenario, you don't want to be held responsible for military money going abroad. I would say first, then you shouldn't pay taxes. But okay, let's say you're compelled to pay taxes, and so maybe you want to refrain from voting at the national level. Habibi, what about your school board? What about your local school? What about your city council? Your city council is not sending guns and bombs abroad. Okay, there's no argument that I've seen categorically so that voting up and down the whole thing is not is impermissible. I haven't seen an argument convincing me of that. I do think that there are situations, particular situations, where voting might not be permissible. And I can respect, like people who take those sorts of accountability measures into consideration. But I don't see people saying that. When I see people saying voting is haram, it's usually categorical. It's usually entirely say this is the shirki system, the kufri system, this is the system of the kuffar. And these are not grounds upon which to, the kuffar eat Cheerios for breakfast. Does that make Cheerios a kafir cereal and you can't eat Cheerios now for breakfast, right? This is a tool. And so within limits, with conditions, on a case-by-case basis, you can use a tool.